Thank you, Peace and Katie, for having me today. So my topic today is Taming the Turmoil. I thought I wanted to come up with a catchy title, and we've all been here. How to feel better when everything just feels hard. And I'm sure we've all been there in business, in your personal life, and with children. So as a child, I was an academic overachiever, staying up late to study for exams and spending my lunch in the library. Yes, I was a nerd. And then there was the rigor of high school, college, and not to mention medical school, before diving into a stressful, harried career in medicine. Oh, and then the car collision, where I got hit by a car, just walking through a hospital car park. I was just not randomly, I was on my way to work. Where else could I be as a workaholic? And I was hit by a car, and I have a spinal cord injury, hence I walk with sticks, okay? And that spinal cord injury had me relearning to walk again at a rehab facility in America for 3 years. So I do have very Americanized way of thinking, but I act Australian, okay? Plus now I'm running multiple businesses. Aside from running a successful medical practice as a pain physician, I'm also a coach for burnt out doctors and other healthcare professionals, plus raising 2 young kids who don't really listen to me. So my whole life has primed me for burnout. And you might not have had the exact same experiences as me, but as mompreneurs, we deal with all the stresses, right? There's always our absurdly complicated calendars with client calls and deliveries, kids' special needs, or chronic illnesses, or even your own chronic illnesses. I have a spinal cord injury. Relationship stress, we've got a partner, a relationship or marriage to maintain, caring for aging parents, plus running our own businesses. We're all primed for burnout. There have been times, including just right before my spinal cord injury, where my burnout was at level 10, and that required a complete overhaul of my life. Oh boy, didn't I have a complete overhaul with the spinal cord injury. And since then, though, I've learned to catch burnout early. And I've learned that, just like medical conditions, early intervention is key and makes recovery easier. A few weeks ago, I noticed something was wrong. I was exhausted. I wasn't sleeping very well at night. I was being cynical and sarcastic. Who here has woken up at 3 a.m. going, oh gosh, I gotta do that thing. That was me, and while everyone's asleep, I got up to my office and started doing the thing. And I started snapping at my husband and getting really impatient with my kids when they were just being kids. Emotionally, when I wasn't feeling irritated, I felt numb, and that was scary. I think feeling numb is a lot scarier than feeling angry to me. So everything from getting my kids ready for school, those of us here, we know what it's like to get kids ready for school. That's already very stressful. This is like up a level notch. To figuring out dinner, changing a toilet paper roll when someone left it empty happens. Everything just felt hard a few weeks ago. That's when I realized, hey, that's burnout. Fortunately, I've been studying burnout for a very, very long time, and I knew what to do. Just a little bit about me. So I've been coaching and mentoring medical students, junior doctors, registrars, fellows since 2014. And I'm an established rehabilitation pain physician since 2016. So my main area of expertise in chronic pain is pelvic pain. So I look after a lot of women with persistent pelvic pain due to endometriosis, adenomyosis. So that's my main practice. I've built up a global personal brand, hence the blue. And the thought leadership, I call it a thought leadership business since 2020 because I coach, I speak, I write, I consult. And that's my thought leadership content being published in various ways. I've been a professional coach for doctors and now healthcare professionals and entrepreneurs. There's a huge demand since 2021 because of burnout is very real in our industry. We're talking about entrepreneurs, very real in our industry. I'm a keynote speaker. I speak a lot on burnout. I did a TEDx talk last year, so I can call myself TEDx speaker. Thank you. And I'm an award-winning, best-selling author of 7 books, and there's more to come. I've just contributed a chapter to Purpose and Passion, so that might be book number 8. Thank you guys. And I'm a visionary thought leader in the burnout space. I get asked by hospital corporations to talk a lot about burnout. And most recently, I'm a nervous system reset expert and a certified nervous system fitness trainer, and I'll explain what all this really means. okay? And how I work through NLP. I'm sure all of you know NLP. I do NLP processes. Very strange for a doctor, but I do NLP stuff. I have various strategy plan to help my clients heal their nervous system. It could be chronic pain, anxiety, chronic stress, burnout, or all of the above. I help them master their mindset. I give them a set of neurological fitness exercises. And I've got lived-in experience. I have a broken nervous system. Hello, spinal cord injury. And I've lived in experience with burnout. Pressing the wrong button. All right, who I work with, mind-body practice professionals, coaches, parents, entrepreneurs, and business owners who are invested in their personal growth. So most of the time, my clients fit into this demographics. And because they are exactly just like me, but just needing some support. See, burnout at its root is a nervous system issue. Our nervous system are like the control centers of our body. Think about Wi-Fi. That's exactly what our nervous system does. It's what connects every part of your body to your brain, and it transmits signals back and forth. Okay? So throughout this process, your nervous system, so I'll just adjust this. There we go. Throughout this process, your nervous system helps manage everything you do. Think and feel. It regulates your memory and thinking, movement, and responses to the environment, and your bodily functions, like heart rate, digestion, and breathing. It controls how you react to stress, excitement, and even danger, or perceived danger, which I'll explain a little while what that means. So when you're calm, your nervous system keeps things balanced. You breathe steadily, and your heart beats normally. When you experience a stressor, like public speaking, I can feel it, your nervous system reacts and sends stress hormones throughout your body, like just things like cortisol and adrenaline. So you can deal with the stressor by fighting, fleeing, freezing, or fawning. Just a few words to describe adaptive responses. And when the stressor goes away, your nervous system helps to calm your body down and relax, and your body goes back to business as usual. But when you're stressed for a very long time, when stressors just keep coming and don't let up, which is basically daily life in the modern world, then your nervous system gets overloaded, okay? It can't deal. It's always sending out those stress hormones. It's always sending out you into a fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, and makes it really hard to relax, sleep well, or even think clearly, which I went through a few weeks ago. And that's what burnout can be like. And I'm sure you can relate to this. Kids just talking so much, and you're just going, please keep quiet. So burnout is just one way a nervous system, a dysregulated nervous system can manifest. It can manifest in various other forms, which I'll explain in a little while. And it can show up in a lot of different ways in our lives or in our body. So these are the 10 top ways that I've observed in my patients, in my clients. See how many of these you resonate with, okay? So number one, things just have to be just so. So when your nervous system is out of whack, you may have trouble letting little things go. You're just like clenching and holding on. And on a good day, if your kid wants to help make breakfast and ends up cracking an egg on the floor, you might just laugh it off and go, yeah, and then clean it up together. But when you're dealing with dysregulation, what will happen when you see your kid drop the egg? You will lose your and something like that, and you'll just send you into a tailspin. Oh, yes. And then number two, you're snappy, irritable, and reactive. I've seen my husband in action in this, so yelling at the kids, I'm like, oh, that's my husband, this is it. Maybe you shut down when you should speak up, so that's one. Or you just say things you don't mean. So when small things can set off a very intense reaction, you can easily go from just fine to upset, frustrated, and angry, like in the drop of a hat. That's a sign of dysregulation. And you're constantly on edge, like, oh, and who relates to this? Like, oh, this is too much. I'm like, oh, what do I do? I've been here many, many times. So when there are too many demands on your attention and energy from your team or from your kids, that can cause your nervous system to be dysregulated. You might feel that you just can't keep up with everything, struggling with feeling overwhelmed like this person. Thinking about your to-do list, your future, it's like, is this my life? Am I going to be like this? Is there more to life than this? Your future, your relationships. Okay? Or you might just be like this fella, just feeling numb and disconnected, and just tune out. And this is how Netflix binging happens. and you just tune out, going, numbing yourself, isn't it? And you just might feel very disconnected, or you're putting other people's needs before you. So like this person just letting her husband doom scroll on social media while she gets ignored. Or you could be like this chap. You've been experiencing symptoms like chronic pain or pain flare-ups without any apparent cause or trigger. Sometimes you may have trouble sleeping or concentrating on anything other than how bad the pain is. I see this a lot in my clinical practice. Maybe you've been to multiple doctors, specialists, chiropractors, physical therapists, and more. So searching for a reason for your pain and other symptoms. But each appointment only leads to temporary relief at best and no long-term solutions. You might have skin or gut health issues. Who can relate to skin and gut health issues when you're really stressed? I get that. I get funny skin stuff and gut health stuff. Yeah, even doctors get issues like this. But I'm saying as it is. This is very real. So people who suffer from conditions like rosacea or IBS often suffer from a dysregulated nervous system. I see this a lot in my clinical practice. They're often told to just reduce stress, but it's easier said than done, isn't it? But have a hard time, they have to kind of understand what they need to do and how to heal their nervous system. So once they take care of their nervous system health and they create a resilient, regulated nervous system, their rosacea and IBS subside. I see this a lot in my patients who, they start a FODMAP diet, which is a low inflammatory diet, all their skin rashes and everything, and the gut issues also resolve as well. And number 5, you're highly sensitive to sensory stimuli. So I've been, a few weeks ago, I went through that as well. Like my kids talking, even that really caused me to be really irritable. Bright lights, certain smells, big crowds, other sensory input. It was just too much. And these kind of stimuli might feel quite unpleasant. It's actually really unpleasant, becomes really unpleasant or even painful. Sometimes you're stressed by small things that you don't even notice, like clutter in your home. Maybe some people do, but clutter in your home just really becomes a big deal suddenly. Or, your partner chewing gum or your kids chewing gum, and you're like, oh, come on, stop it. And relate to that one. And this is the big one for me and many of my patients and coaching clients, sleep problems and daytime fatigue. So you don't sleep well, and we know that sleep is very important. And you feel tired during the day. You might find yourself, yawning, feeling sleepy or groggy during the day and having difficulty concentrating and you'll be drinking lots of coffee, like me. You might not have energy for your daily task or to enjoy activities with friends, family, or coworkers. So it's hard for you to get really motivated when you're just so tired all the time. And then number 7, it'll be just chronic attention and concentration problems. You have trouble focusing on tasks or conversations. Who has been through that where you're so tired you just can't focus and you have a coaching client in front of you and you're like, yeah, I've been there. I shouldn't admit that, but I've been there. Well, because I coach my clients in the evenings until 9 p.m. and because I work during the day as a doctor, so I'm so glad there's NLP processes. I can use the subconscious stuff. Or you just might misplace things and you go, where's my key? And it's just right in front of you. Or your glasses is right here. Forget to complete assignments for your clients. Like, oopsie, I forgot to send that to you. Lose track of your thoughts when you're talking with your clients or even coaching your clients. All of these symptoms at the same time. So you might feel that you're not as able and sharp as other people are. And that can be so frustrating and embarrassing. This is all because your body is trying to keep you safe. Okay? And when the nervous system is on perpetual high alert, looking out for danger is really hard to concentrate. And number 8 is cravings and extreme appetite changes. You might be hungry all the time and that donut or Krispy Kreme donut looks really appetizing. Or you might feel like you can't eat enough, you just keep going, 1 donut, 2 donuts, 3 donuts. Your appetite just will go up or it might be down, you just don't feel like eating as well. And sometimes you just binge with no apparent trigger, like one moment you're eating average amounts of food, suddenly you're watching Netflix and eating lots of stuff. Sugar, salt, and fat. And all of these sort of experiences can be a sign that something isn't quite right with the way that your nervous system is regulating your metabolism, okay? So every single one of these points that I've just talked about can make life feel very, very hard. You know, the inflexibility, the overwhelm, the irritability, the pain, your sensitivity and fatigue, the concentration issues, the appetite issues, the skin and gut conditions, and your sensitivity to other people's emotions. Everyone makes everything feel harder. I know. And I want you to know that it's not because you're an overly sensitive person who's been there that your partner goes, you're really sensitive today, you're really emotional today. It's not because you're an overly sensitive person, or because you're a mean mom, or it's all because it's all in your head. It's your nervous system, and it can be resolved. Oh, I'm getting really excited now because this is the nerdy stuff. Oh dear. All right. So when you're stuck experiencing chronic stress, it changes the nervous system on a physiological level. It actually alters how your body works. So let's have a look. I might just go into this diagram. It may look a little bit complicated, but I will explain what this means. Oh, yikes. When we experience stress, our nervous system responds by shifting to a higher gear. The sympathetic nervous system is activated, which leads to the release of stress hormones like cortisol. So these hormones prepare our body for fight-flight response by increasing our heart rate and blood pressure, and by redirecting blood away from our digestive system and towards our muscles. In the short term, this response is beneficial because it can help us deal with a stressful situation. However, if we are constantly under stress, our body learns to stay in this state of high alert, which leads to nervous system dysregulation. When stress becomes more prolonged, it just builds up in the nervous system. And as the nervous system holds on to more and more stress, it becomes less flexible and more prone to moving into fight, flight, shutdown responses. Simply put, usually your body can handle some stress and then relax, but constant stress, your body never gets a real break. Your body starts to be ultra vigilant, always assuming something stressful is happening even when it's not. So this is called what you call increasing allostatic load, your baseline stress level. So the higher the allostatic load, the easier it is for the nervous system to shift into a dysregulated nervous system state. Okay. All right, let me talk about the vagus nerve, nerdy moment. Something that our medical school, we were not taught about this at all, but this is the key to regulating your emotions and your nervous system. Fortunately, we can heal our nervous systems and make work, relationships, and kids and everything feel easier every day. It's not a quick fix and it's not a permanent one. And remember how I got myself out of burnout just a couple of weeks ago? And then there'll be a practice that you can come back again and again. I'll teach you guys how to do that really quickly, but it is essential. So we need to repair our nervous system by reteaching it how to regulate. If not, we'll just keep living with extreme ups and downs of overwhelm, irritability, pain, sensitivity, fatigue, and so many other challenges. So to create peace and ease and harmony in our lives, we need to regulate our nervous system. The key is the vagus nerve. This long central nerve running from the brain to the abdomen, and is connected to every major organ in the body. And you guys might have heard of the gut-brain axis. That's exactly the vagus nerve doing its thing. So when you experience stress, vagus nerve is what helps your body know how to react. By speeding up your heart or make you breathe faster, helps you control your mood and can impact things, parts of our health that might seem entirely unrelated to our nervous system, like heart disease or vocal paralysis. And the thing is, when you're chronically stressed and burnt out, it can impair the vagus nerve's functions, and that's where all those stress-related illnesses I just spoke about, like anxiety, depression, pain, headaches, IBS, insomnia, that's how it all manifested. So basically the key to resetting your nervous system is the vagus nerve, to reset it, okay? And I won't touch into this. This is I do a program on neurological fitness, which is improving your resilience and your nervous system. And it's time to regain control of your physical and emotional health. And I just want to talk a little bit about a program that I'm really passionate about. It's something that I've actually tried it on my patients without them knowing, and it worked. So as a pain patient, I've cared for hundreds of patients who had spent a fortune on multiple treatments that did not work to heal conditions which were seemingly resistant to every single kind of intervention. So it was these patients, I'm very grateful for them because they allowed me to do this thing, to coach them and let them go through all these processes, as well as my own experience. I've been there. that led me to research and create a series of simple but highly effective techniques for retoning the vagus nerve and restoring mental and physical health. And this is my program Reset Foundation. It just helps people regulate their nervous system better and helps you reset your vagus nerve. So I just want to finish up the presentation or wrap up by just doing a simple practice. And some of you who have watched my TED Talk have seen me do this in my TED Talk. I got the whole audience to put their hand on their heart. Okay, so I just want all of you guys to just see me raise your hand. Right or left hand, doesn't matter. What feels right to you right now, just put it on your heart. Go ahead. Even if it feels a little strange, I had to do this for a group of anesthetists. You can imagine their face when I told them to do this. Now take 3 deep breaths. So this kind of breathing activates your parasympathetic nervous system. That's the part of your brain designed to calm you down and make you feel safe. The hand on the heart leads to the release of oxytocin into the bloodstream. It's like giving your nervous system a huge hug, telling her that you'll be all right, that she's safe and you are safe, that you are with her no matter what. So hand on the heart, 3 breaths. Just like that. You probably feel that your heart rate has slowed down, and your breathing starting to relax. Use that when the kids start to wear you down. You're feeling overstimulated and short-tempered, okay? And you remember a few weeks ago when I noticed that everything was just feeling so hard, my work, my relationships with my kids and my husband, even little things like putting laundry away, like that stressed me out. When I realized, hey, that's me, I was being dysregulated. I stopped what I was doing. Physically, I acknowledged that my nervous system was trying to help me. And I began practicing all this, the foundational neuroscience, nervous system science, body practices, or what we call somatic practices, that I knew that will help me as a doctor, as a coach, as an author, speaker, and as a mom. Ultimately, it's as a mom. And all by re-engaging your nervous system, your vagus nerve, and resetting it. That's how to feel better when everything feels hard, okay? One more time. Just practice that quick exercise. Hand on your heart. There's a lot of breathing today. Three. Thank you so much.